marketing now. I think everyone you meet that's a potential client, you should keep them on some sort of client list, be it a spreadsheet or whatever it is, and send out a weekly or a monthly email newsletter, with obviously all your contact information and links to your website and your Facebook and your LinkedIn account and your Twitter account, all that stuff. And, a good way to do that, there's companies like Constant Contact that, can sort of help arrange all that. But, so, one grassroots thing that we did with Larry the lawyer is I set up a website, the New York Attorney Directory. And basically, conceptually, that's a way where I'm separating myself. Because when you're doing grassroots marketing or any marketing, you have to be able to separate yourself from the competition. And everyone can say they give the best service, everyone can say they give the best results, and everyone could say a million other things just like that. So how do you separate yourself? Well, I thought, I know a lot of attorneys, and sometimes I'm amazed that people will hire some of the attorneys that I know. And I began thinking that when someone's looking for an attorney, they unless they get a direct referral from a friend who's used that attorney before, they really have no idea who they're hiring. And I'm sure it's like that in many businesses. Unless you get a direct referral from a friend with a very high endorsement, you really don't know who you're hiring. So basically I created the Attorney Directory, and people can go on the site and they can contact me through the site, and basically I'll be a human yellow pages for lawyers. So if someone needs a criminal lawyer and they go onto my site and they contact me, I'll talk to them, I'll find out a little bit about their case, I'll find out a little bit about them, and I'll help match them up with an attorney who best meets their needs for their particular case. And that's a way that I'm separating myself from other lawyers who are marketing on the Internet, who would just have their beautiful websites and say that I get you these great results, and I'm a great lawyer, and I give great customers. Here I'm saying, I will find you the best lawyer. Let's talk about your case and find out who the best lawyer really is for your case. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. So that's one way that I'm trying to set myself apart from the competition.
It's funny that you would speak on those ways of setting yourself apart, because, in fact, today I'm actually broadcasting live. I'm still using Blog Talk Radio as my main platform, but I'm actually broadcasting live through a Ustream channel through a company called Salette USA TV. So I definitely want to go ahead now and thank them for allowing us to come in, inviting us in. And you thought about a unique way, speaking of that. He's just out on the Internet everywhere. But this is a form of grassroots marketing. He invited Let's Talk Strategies into his studio, and it's streaming live out there across the World Wide Web. And he's allowing us to present this show in so many different realms. So this is a way of marketing and even networking. We're blending together here with a nice common goal. And so, I'm just smiling. If you could see me on the other side, maybe you'll see it if you look in out there on Salette USA TV. And I want to thank our viewers also for allowing this pilot show to move forward in the studio today. I'm giddy. I get real excited about marketing, and I get excited about anything that deals with small business strategies, because Lord knows we all really, really need them in order to clearly move forward. Now, let me ask you, I was out there doing some research on you, of course. That's what I do best. Before anyone comes on the show, I kind of really look through who they are and what they're doing out in the community, or just out there in any type of outreach type programs. I noticed on your Facebook page you put some pictures up with some of the recent events that you were doing. How do you utilize, what directives or what approach do you take when you're out networking? Because you did a function recently, and I'm kind of curious. It tickles me to be coming from a lawyer background, how you would take your skill set and make it applicable, and that any and everyone can use it.
Well, as I said before, I think that you want to be in front of your potential clients whenever possible. My marketing approach isn't, while I say you want to be in people's face as much as possible, I don't actually like to be in people's faces, like bothering them or annoying, but on the same token, if I could do it in a subtle way, then, I think that's the way to go. And so by posting the pictures of the events on Facebook and on the Internet, that, through Facebook, everything spreads like virally, and then other people take notice because everyone wants to see pictures. Oh, I was tagged in a photo, or my friend was tagged in a photo. Let me go look. And now, all of a sudden, they go and they see about the event, and they see about me, and they get all my information. And I just feel like that's another way that I'm reaching out to potential customers and clients. Also, I think it helps with search engine optimization, so that when people are searching for anything within my area, then that might help me get ranked higher on Google lists and Yahoo lists and things like that, which are all these days a very important part of marketing. If someone's looking for anything, they're Googling it, or some people, I guess, Yahoo, but it's a Google world right now. And the better you could be doing in terms of search engine optimization is only going to help you. So I pay a lot of attention to that, and I think the social media like Facebook and Twitter and whatnot really aid in that as well. So I think it's all part of a grassroots campaign of being out in the actual real world and also being out in the virtual world, because that's where the people are going to find you, in both those places. And you don't have to spend, unlike a TV or radio ad campaign, you don't have to spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to get an effective campaign. Here you could spend way less than that. Be very effective. If you could collect thousands of email addresses of potential clients and send them a weekly or monthly newsletter, that's very inexpensive marketing compared to any other thing you're going to do.
I think it's the easiest way to actually gain leads. That's what I consider lead generation. I believe in using it. I love it. I don't use it as my only way, but I definitely believe in using that. And I give others a way to actually connect with me on there by at least capturing their email address if they want to know more about what we're doing, or even finding out who's coming on the show. It's amazing. Most people wonder how I get information out about the show. Because you know how it is. You can go and you can advertise. You can send a newsletter, a postcard. There's so many different avenues you can use to market what you're doing to people. But you have to think about, or you have to come up with strategies as to what's the best time frame to do it. For the show, we advertise on several platforms. Of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the Twitter, all the popular platforms. But we do a lot of campaigning out in other platforms way earlier than what we would do on the norm for Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, because sometimes those feeds or those different things can get lost in there. So we'll do a lot of the campaigning early, a week early for whoever it is that's coming on the show. And then when we get down to the wire, a day before, 2 days before, we begin to do our big, heavy campaign on Facebook and Twitter, because it's so much going on out there. And we like to stay in and out, not hit you too many times, because people can see what you're doing and you don't want to bombard them too much. So I use that platform a whole lot to reach out to my listeners and my clients. Let me ask you, with that being said, you're on the show. We're doing a radio show. What do you think about using, or the use of TV, radio, and magazine advertisement for marketing?
In the right circumstance for the right type of industry, it can be very effective. There is, for example, a law firm in New York, a personal law firm, and they spend millions of dollars every month on radio, TV, billboard. I don't know if they're in magazines, but definitely billboard, radio, internet, and they've been doing that for years, and they're very, very successful. So for them, that's great. But for most small businesses, if a lawyer wanted to spend $10,000 on something like that, they'll be swallowed up by this other law firm. They won't be able to compete with this other law firm who's spending $1 million. So I think that if you're going to spend, $10,000, there's much more effective ways to spend the money versus a TV ad campaign or a radio ad campaign, because I think that the bigger, larger fish are spending way more money than most small businesses are going to be able to. So I think, you focus on optimizing your website, optimizing your social media, maybe a Google AdWord campaign, and the grassroots marketing. I think, quite honestly, better money is spent on your existing customers. So If you have a good client who sends you good business, instead of ignoring them and focusing on trying to get new customers, spend more time focusing on your good client and get more business from that person. Because studies show that people are more likely to give you more business once they're doing business with you than getting someone to give you new business who you haven't done business with. So, to me, focus on that. So go to one of your top clients, take them out for a nice dinner, but before you take them out, call them up and say, hey, Joe, I really appreciate the business we do together. You're a very important client to me, and I would like to take you out to dinner and thank you. But also, I'd appreciate if you could do me a favor. Perhaps that there's a colleague of yours who could benefit from my services, and I'd appreciate it if you would call them and invite them to dinner too. I'd like to meet them too. So now you're taking out a very good client of yours who is bringing a colleague who could be a completely new lead for you, who is being endorsed by that person by coming to dinner with you, and now you get to spend 2 hours at dinner with this new potential client to get new potential business from a new client, as well as focusing on getting new business from an existing client. So I think the money you spend on a dinner like that is a lot more effective than the money you might spend on a Google AdWords campaign, and certainly more than a radio or TV campaign, which is going to cost you more. And it's blind marketing, it's blind advertising. Whereas when you market directly to people you're doing business with and ask them to bring people to you as referrals, it's not even warm leads, it becomes hot leads.
Well, I like that approach to me because, blind marketing, blind networking, even if you want to call it that. Well, I think what you're doing is smart marketing and smart networking. I love the fact that you'll go, I don't use the term wine and dine, but you're taking the time and you're spending, you're showing your now customers or clientele that you appreciate them. And then you go above and beyond that by even inviting others out that they may know or something that whatever type of business juncture could actually connect with them and help them. That's smart marketing. It also places you in a position where it doesn't come off to look like it's all just about you. And I think when you're in that giving state of mind, if you listen to any of my previous shows, when you give, you can always expect to get. So, my hat goes off to you, Larry the lawyer.
well, did I thank you? And that's it's exactly the strategy. Is you gotta that's what I think the business world, and a lot of people feel like the regular personal world is about. If you're good to people and you're able to provide things that are benefits to them, it should come back to you. And that's what I really try to accomplish, is that if I can help you and do things that are helping your business and better for you, ultimately you should be giving me business, even if my price point is higher than competitors.